Hello and welcome to Hornbill TV's English News Bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. The Taliban completed their sweep of the country's south on Friday as they took 4 more provincial capitals in a lightning offensive that is gradually encircling Kabul. Two people were killed and another injured when a group of armed men posing as police personnel attacked the residents of a house in Sakrohar village in Bihar's Khagaria district late on Thursday night. The Union Environment Ministry has notified the Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2021 prohibiting the manufacture, import, stocking, distribution, sale and use of certain single-use plastic items with low utility and high littering potential by 2022. Now for the news in details. The Taliban completed their sweep of the country's south on Friday as they took 4 more provincial capitals in a lightning offensive that is gradually encircling Kabul, just weeks before the US is set to officially end its 2-decade war.
The latest significant blow was the loss of the capital of Helmand province, where American, British and allied NATO forces fought some of the bloodiest battles in the past 20 years. Hundreds of foreign troops were killed in the province, which is also a major opium hub. The insurgents have taken half of the country's 34 provincial capitals in recent days, including its second and third largest cities, Herat and Kandahar. The Taliban now control more than 2/3 of the country just weeks before the US plans to withdraw its last troops. While the capital of Kabul isn't directly under threat yet, the losses and advances elsewhere further tighten the grip of a resurgent Taliban. The latest US military intelligence assessment suggests Kabul could come under insurgent pressure within 30 days and that if current trends hold, the Taliban could gain full control of country within a few months. In the south, the insurgents swept through the capitals of Zabul and Urazain provinces in addition to Helmand. Ataullah Afghan, the head of the provincial council in Helmand, said that the Taliban captured Lashkar Gah following weeks of heavy fighting and raised their white flag over governmental buildings. He said that 3 national army bases outside of Lashkar Gah remain under control of the government. Ata Jan Haqbayan, the provincial council chief in Zabul province, said the local capital of Kualat fell and that officials were in a nearby army camp preparing to leave. Bismillah Jan Mohammad and Qudratullah Rahimi, lawmakers from Afghanistan's southern Urazain province, said local officials surrendered Tirinko to the Taliban. Mohammad said the governor was heading to the airport to depart for Kabul. In the country's west, meanwhile, Fazil Haq Ihsan, head of the provincial council in Gaur province, said its capital Firozkoh also fell to the insurgents. With security rapidly deteriorating, the United States planned to send in 3,000 troops to help evacuate some personnel from the US embassy in Kabul. Separately, Britain said about 600 troops would be deployed on a short-term basis to support British nationals leaving the country, and Canada is sending special forces to help evacuate its embassy.
2 people were killed and another injured when a group of armed men posing as police personnel attacked the residents of a house in Sakrohar village in Bihar's Khagaria district late on Thursday night. The injured person has been admitted to a hospital in Begusarai and his condition is believed to be critical.
Police forces have been sent to the site of the incident. Search parties were also sent out, but the criminals managed to escape. The house allegedly belonged to a man called Dashrat Singh. Soon after the incident, police teams and administrative officials, including Khagaria SP Amitesh Kumar as well as the district magistrate, reached the spot. The police have started investigating the matter and believe that a land dispute probably led to the crime. According to the locals, when the man posing as police personnel knocked on the door of the house, a few family members came out and opened the door. As soon as they opened the door, the man began firing. Dhananjay Singh 63 and Bijendra alias Bijay Singh 60 died on the spot while their younger brother Papu Singh suffered injuries last night when armed criminals dressed as police attacked Dashrath's house. SHO of Beldar police station Achilal Paswan said, adding that eyewitnesses told him that nearly a dozen armed men dressed in police uniform fired at the family members. He also said that the villagers were not able to identify the men. Khagaria SP Amitesh Kumar told HT that preliminary investigation suggested that the reason behind the incident was probably a land dispute between the victims and the neighbor Pampan Singh. We are probing the incident from all angles and the exact number of people involved in the murder will become clearer after inquiry, he said. A case has been registered at the local police station and raids are being carried out to nab the culprits.
The Department of Women Resource Development organized a sales day for the promotion of local women potato farmers from Wiswema village at its office in Bihar under the aegis of Transformative Livelihood Intervention Project. Initiated in the year 2006 under TLIP, the Resource Development Program for Women is one of the projects among many where the farmers are supported in cash, kind, materials or training. Vilone Sakre, Director, Women's Resource Development, Government of Nagaland, said that the department is focused on these farmers in various districts, but due to the lack of manpower and shortage of funds, all the districts could not be covered. Under the program, so far, 4 districts could be covered at present, namely Kohima, Wokha, Pek and Kifri. Kolar beans cultivation is being promoted in Kifri, for which 200 farmers are being supported and trained. Ground nuts from Wokha, where above 100 women farmers are being supported and well over 100 women farmers are engaged in the cultivation of foxtail millet and job steers at Pek. He said in Kohima, potato cultivation was started last year involving 100 women. Training on value addition, marketing and making byproducts from potato seeds, etc. were given to them in partnership with the Department of Employment Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Nagaland, recently. A total of 100 women farmers from Wiswema village produced a little over 11 metric tons of potato. The department bought these potatoes from the farmers and added value to them by sorting, grading, cleaning and packaging them in jute bags, which is finally made available here in Kohima at the rate of Rs 60 per kilo. The proceeds will be given to the farmers, he added. In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday launched the long-awaited national automobile scrappage policy, describing it as a significant step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat.
The policy, which PM Modi launched while virtually addressing the Investor Summit in Gujarat, was announced by Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in her budget speech in February. The policy recommends fitness tests for private and commercial vehicles that are more than 20 and 15 years old respectively. In the absence of a fitness certificate, registration of such vehicles will be automatically cancelled. It further recommends mandatory scrapping of all government vehicles that are more than 15 years old but is applicable only on 4-wheelers. The fitness tests will be done at government-certified fitness centers, appointments for which can be made online. Test reports will be generated in online mode. Also, scrappage can be done anywhere in the country regardless of the place of vehicle registration. The scheme also proposes several incentives which the owners can avail after being given a scrapping certificate. This includes the scrap value for the old vehicle, which is accepted to be around 5 to 6% of the price of a new vehicle. Additionally, a road tax rebate of up to 25% for new personal vehicles and 15% for new commercial vehicles, as well as a 5% discount against the scrapping certificate, have also been proposed under the policy. The registration fees for the purchase of a new vehicle may also be waived upon getting the old vehicle scrapped. The policy will bring investments worth more than 10,000 crore and create up to 50,000 jobs, Union Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari has said while announcing details of the policy in March.
The Union Environment Ministry has notified the Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2021 prohibiting the manufacture, import, stocking, distribution, sale and use of certain single-use plastic items with low utility and high littering potential by 2022.
United Nations Environment Assembly held in 2019, India moved a resolution on addressing single-use plastic products pollution by 2022. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called on people to stop the use of single-use plastic bags in his Independence Day speech in 2019. The manufacture, import, stocking, distribution, sale and use of some single-use plastic products including polystyrene and expanded polystyrene should be prohibited from July 1, 2022. These include earbuds with plastic sticks with 4 balloons, plastic flags, candy sticks, ice cream sticks, polystyrene for decoration, plates, cups, glasses, cutlery such as forks, spoons, knives, straw, trays, wrapping or packing films used for sweet boxes, invitation cards and cigarette packets, plastic or PVC banners, less than 100 micron and stirrers. From September 30, 2021, the thickness of plastic carry bags will be increased from 50 microns to 75 microns and 120 microns. This will also allow the reuse of plastic carry bags due to an increase in thickness, and Environment Ministry statement said. The plastic packaging waste which is not covered under the phase out of identified single-use plastic items should be collected and managed in an environmentally sustainable way by producers, importers and brand owners as per the Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016. For effective implementation of extended producer responsibility, the guidelines for it are being brought out and have been given legal force through Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2021, the ministry said in the statement.
The Tripura police arrested 2 people, including 1 Trinamool Congress activist, after raiding their residences for their alleged involvement in the clash with BJP cadres at Ambassa in the Light district that occurred nearly 4 days ago, an official said on Thursday.
Taken to court and were sent to judicial custody for 4 days. According to the police, party workers of both the political parties, the TMC and the BJP clashed at Ambassa, about 90 kilometers from Agartala on August 7th. 4 days after the incident, a team of Ambassa police conducted raids at the residence of Amal Bhaumik, an activist of the party, and Surajit Sutradhar, the local driver of TMC leader Dibanshu Bhattacharya, at Amtali in West District on Wednesday night and arrested them. The Ambassa police are dealing with the matter. Prior to the raid, they informed us and one of our police constables went into them during the raid. We cannot say anything more, said Amtali Sub-Divisional Police Officer Anirban Das. According to TMC, 2 youth leaders from West Bengal, Jaya Datta and Sudeep Raha, were injured after their vehicle was attacked by BJP cadres at Ambassa. Both of them were arrested without any valid reason, and we believe it is politically motivated. There is no law and order in the state. Freedom fighters during the British rule were arrested forcefully at night. A similar kind of incident is happening in the state, TMC leader and Rajya Sabha MP Santanu Sen told reporters after arriving in the city and meeting the families of the 2 people arrested last night. TMC General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee and a few other leaders from Bengal and Tripura were booked recently for allegedly misbehaving with the police in Kowai district, where they visited a day after the clash at Ambassa.
The Kerala High Court on Friday granted anticipatory bail to 4 former police and intelligence officers in a case related to the alleged framing of former Indian Space Research Organization scientist Nambi Narayan in a 1994 espionage case.
Federal Bureau of Investigation in June booked former Intelligence Bureau Deputy Director R.B. Srikumar and 16 other police personnel over the alleged conspiracy to frame Narayanan. A single bench of Justice Ashok Menon granted the bail to former guerrilla police officers S. Vijayan, Durgadutt, as well as Sri Kumar and other former IB official as Jaya Prakash. The CBI and two Maldivian women who were also implicated in the case opposed their bail pleas. Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju, who appeared for the CBI, told the High Court that it was a serious case and some foreign agencies, including Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence, were involved in the conspiracy to sabotage the country's cryogenic project that Narayanan was a part of in the 1990s. The court asked the agency to produce evidence in this regard. The CBI said it will produce the proof when the case progresses. The 16 were booked 2 months after the Supreme Court in April ordered the CBI to investigate the conspiracy behind the framing. It called the matter serious and said it requires deeper investigation into the role of the officers responsible. The top court accepted the report of a committee it constituted in 2018 to probe the circumstances that led to the alleged framing. The top court accepted the report of a committee it constituted in 2018 to probe the circumstances that led to the alleged framing. Narayanan, 79, was arrested in 1994 in the alleged espionage case. He was exonerated 2 years later following a CBI closure report. The former police and intelligence personnel have been charged with conspiracy, framing of false evidence, and illegal custody.
In sublocal news, the Mulongkimong Village Council held a memorial service on 11th August to mark the 77th anniversary of the crash of a United States Army Air Force plane. The service was held at the crash site, where there is a memorial erected and dedicated by the Village Council on 22nd December 2020. Let's have a look at the details.
The crash happened on 11 August 1944 during World War II, and the plane was an F-7A photo reconnaissance Liberator with tail number 42 64189. It was flying on a combat mission from Jorhat, India to Kunming, China, and all 12 on board were killed. The plane belonged to the 24th Combat Mapping Squadron based in Kushkara, West Bengal, and its role was to take aerial photography of uncharted enemy territories, which would then be used to make detailed maps crucial to winning the war. However, on this day, it was also carrying 3 passengers along with cargoes comprising of gasoline, bombs, and ammunition. China was completely surrounded by Japanese forces, and the only way to keep the supplies flowing to Chinese forces and American forces stationed in China was through the 550 miles air route through the Himalayan mountains from airfields in Assam to Kunming in China. The altitude, extreme weather condition, icing of wings, and presence of Japanese fighters made this route perilous, and American pilots nicknamed it the Hum. Jig Mars Coins in her book, The Aluminum Tales, lists more than 700 planes that went down in the course of the Hum operation, costing some 1,200. Many of them still remain untraced. At the time of the crash, the hospitality showed to the American search party and the Christian burial accorded by the villagers was something unexpected of a people misconstrued as head-hunting savages. The inscription on the crude cross which the villagers had erected over the grave read, "The noble and brave men of America, like the stars of heaven of their lives, leaving their sweet homes, sacrificed their lives for our country in the falls of this happy shining stream." Details about the crash were unearthed through research in 2020, and efforts have been made to inform the relatives in America. Although the relatives and countrymen could not attend the memorial service physically, they took part by sending audio and video messages and also by donating flowers to be placed at the memorial. The Americans expressed their gratitude towards to India in general and the Naga villagers in particular for the memorialization's efforts and bringing a closure to their fallen relatives which had remained unknown to them for 76 years. The fallen crew were first Lieutenant James T. Garraway, the pilot; second, Lieutenant Raymond Grusowski, the navigator; second, Lieutenant Daniel S. Longfellow, the co-pilot; Captain Joseph E. Hennis, Master Sergeant George P. Abbott, Technical Sergeant Glenn B. Kearns, Staff Sergeant Leon M. Winslow, Staff Sergeant Walter H. Jones, Staff Sergeant Alfred H. Gray, Sergeant Eddie Valley, Sergeant Emery D. Crouch, and Corporal Jeremy P. Berner.
China said it appreciates Pakistan's efforts in investigating a terror attack that killed 9 Chinese nationals in July in northern Pakistan, seemingly endorsing Islamabad's claim that Islamic militants had carried it out allegedly at the behest of Indian and Afghan intelligence agencies.
The Chinese Foreign Ministry said Beijing firmly opposes any force using terrorism to seek geopolitical gains and calls on countries in the region to collaborate in eradicating all terrorist organizations so as to uphold common security and development interests of all countries. An unattributed written question, also published on the ministry website, to which the Chinese Foreign Ministry responded was, they said that the planning for the terrorist attack was done in Afghanistan and the attack was executed by the SWAT chapter of TTP. The attacker was trained in Afghanistan and the village and the vehicle used in the attack was brought from Afghanistan to Pakistan. The terrorist network the attacker is associated with has received support from Indian and Afghan intelligence agencies. In its response, the Chinese Foreign Ministry added that Pakistan's investigation into the terror attack has seen major progress in quick time. China pays great attention to this and expresses appreciation to Pakistan's active efforts. Further investigation by Pakistan is still ongoing, Foreign Ministry spokesperson Hua Chunyuan said in a statement on Friday. China and Pakistan will follow the important consensus reached by the leaders on both sides, ascertain all the facts and truth, and hold the culprits accountable and bring them to justice, she said. In the meanwhile, both countries will keep strengthening security cooperation mechanisms to ensure the safety of Chinese projects, people and institutions in Pakistan, who are added.
That's all for the eye. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.